The other week, I was driving towards a junction, and there's a turn right lane, and more aggressive drivers use that turn right lane to drive straight past 20 cars, ram their way through on the straight ahead lane. And I see it most days. But this one evening, I got there as someone shot past me in the outside lane, knowing they weren't going to turn. And they literally drove through the junction, ramming their way through, straight in front of a police car coming the other way. And the police car just continued on its merry way. Clearly reckless driving, deliberately overtaking, using the wrong lane. And this wasn't an accident. This wasn't, oh no, I found myself in the wrong lane and then I signal. This was, throw your car into the space and the plebs in the other car will get out of my way. And it reminded me also of people riding bicycles on pavement where it's so common. There is a time and a place where you need to take your bike on the pavement. But pavements are for pedestrians. And it does annoy me when I see people training their children on driving on pavements. I knew someone whose hip was broken by a careless user, and it altered the rest of their life. But today we have something new. We have e-scooters, and they're really cool. I see them in PC World, and I think, well, that could be quite nice. I could see uses for that. And I see them frequently on the road. But are they legal? Now, there was a free trial period, and during that trial period, it was illegal to use privately owned e-scooters on public roads and spaces, so you could rent e-scooters, and those rented scooters came with an insurance. Well, an e-scooter, even if it can only do 12 miles an hour, is a motor vehicle. It's a powered vehicle, so you need a driving license to drive one. Right now, according to the Met Police, it's not possible to get insurance for privately owned e-scooters, and I'm looking at it right now. According to TfL, rented electric scooters are the only way to legally ride an e-scooter on public roads. And there are rental e-scooters, but there is a growing number of privately owned e-scooters. And they zip around, they jump on the pavement, they're on the road, they weave around, stunting how clever they are, but they can wiggle their arms and look impressive. And they go full pelt. It's basically like petrol scooters were a few years ago. Except they're small enough to think they can go on the pavement as well. Now, driving an e-scooter can lead to fines, to penalty points on your licence, to disqualification from your licence, and imprisonment. But the law isn't enforced, is it? Until May 31st, 2026, it's illegal to ride an e-scooter on the road unless it's rented. And yet it's so easy to buy them. I know 2 stores quite close to me where I can go and buy them. What are they actually going to do with them? They're going to ride them on the road. And then when they're ridden on the road, they don't get stopped, they don't get checked, it doesn't get enforced. The police have given up on enforcing most laws. I'm more likely to get a knock on the door for saying this on this video than I am for riding an e-scooter in front of a police car. I think e-scooters are great. It's a great idea. There's loads of uses where I can understand wanting them. But without proper insurance, proper legislation, and the ability to use private ones on public roads and pavements, why are we selling private scooters? Because we're not selling them for people to ride in parks or around their garden. We're selling them for people to commute. We're selling them for people to use them illegally and put other road users at risk. And some of them are getting quite sophisticated. I saw one with someone who worked for TfL was riding it. And it was properly fast and zippy. Had quite a large battery on it. And even had a seat. But it wasn't an electric bike, it was an electric scooter. Now, to ride one on a public road, you need it to be legal. Then you need to have road tax. Then you need to have insurance. Then you need to have an MOT on it. You'd have to have a driving licence and you have to have a helmet. Well, 9 out of 10 that I see, they don't have tax, insurance, or MOT. You can't really get an MOT on one. And do we have a driving licence? Who knows? And a helmet? No. So, 9 out of 10 that I see, the police could easily stop and charge £300 and 6 points fixed penalty on my driving licence. But they don't. We just don't enforce it. And he said we put up signs in tube stations saying no scooters. Well, we need to provide a structure for people who want to use them where they can sensibly drive them legally, and we need to enforce the illegal use because they are dangerous.